Okay folks, let's get started. A long time has passed. After a lengthy wait, the Cleveland Browns training camp has finally arrived, meaning that Shedeur Sanders will be joining them for the trip. The Browns also introduced a new alternative helmet. Today, although it kind of didn't work well because the man wiped out into the leg gear. When they attempted to remove the inflated helmet, it was comical. Still, it's a thrilling moment to be a Browns supporter. Over the next several weeks, as we watch Shedeur and the Browns quarterback competition sort of unfold throughout training camp, there will be a ton of news, a ton of coverage, and just a ton to discuss. But sure, dude, today was the first day. And we saw some people doing ball security exercises. We witnessed 11 on 111. Thus, there is much to discuss. However, before I start, I would appreciate it if you could all do me a favor. Click the like button and subscribe as well. Just 5 seconds are needed. Additionally, you have the freedom to alter your mind at any time, and your support is greatly appreciated. Okay, so as I've been discussing over the past few months, and as I'm sure you're all aware, the Browns will have around 4 quarterbacks in the room when they enter training camp. Although it's actually a 5-man tournament, Deshaun Watson is no longer involved. Therefore, it's actually a 4-man contest. It's between Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Kenny Pickett. And they all 4 went to work. I am aware that the Browns and the coaching staff have already made public the first depth chart, which shows how everyone is now rated. At the top are Kenny Pickett, Flacco, and Gabriel, with Shedeur Sanders coming in at number 4. It's not really a rigid sequence though, in my opinion. Every day will be different, in my opinion, and everyone will get their chance. It is obvious that the coaches will rotate everyone, and the veterans will receive first dibs, particularly in the first week of the season. Even though Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders are unlikely to start the season under center, I would still like to see them get some first-team reps. Just Shedeur Sanders' presence has been a major topic of conversation. He has been working in restaurants, attending events in the community, and doing a lot of other activities around the Cleveland region, in addition to his demeanor. Additionally, you can see Shedeur cheering for his teammates in every clip. When he's not under center, he's been remaining active or mopping up Kenny Pickett after exercises. The man simply has a natural leadership aura. I detest that term, but it's obvious, and he's not overtly trying. Indeed, those are the minor details that don't appear on a stat sheet, but they are crucial, particularly for a rookie vying for a position in the locker room. I am aware that, from a football perspective, today's practice isn't particularly rigorous. Even though it's only the first day, Shedeur performed admirably in the positional exercises and early warm-ups. He was collaborating with running backs like Samson Strong and Jerome Ford. Even though Judkins is still unsigned, he was demonstrating clean mechanics and making some fluid handoffs. Even the manner in which he tucks his off-arm in when playing. Despite its small size, it was noticeable. Additionally, the goal is to make it more difficult for second and third level defenders to predict what will happen. Additionally, these minor nuances demonstrate that he is coachable and making an effort to improve. Additionally, he is paying attention to what is being stated. Let's be honest now. Although some like criticizing the ball tap, I think the criticism is exaggerated. Many quarterbacks do it. The Browns staff would have ordered him to cut it if there had been a serious problem, and no one would have done it. They're obviously not concerned though. Therefore, let's put that one on hold for the time being unless defensive backs start to exhibit superhuman response speeds while moving in little motions. The same is true for Dillon Gabriel. He also does it. It's not a problem. Unless it causes real issues on the field. It is similar to baseball. Prior to throwing, people glove tap. Additionally, they are typically unaffected by it. It comes naturally to them and helps them feel at ease. The quarterback reps themselves performed a fairly simple cycle of solo exercises today. Gabriel, Pickett, Flacco, and finally Sanders. As I said, it is the order for the time being. Indeed, it is likely that they will start the season with a veteran as quarterback. However, once the actual games start, don't be shocked if things start to change. Instead of a locked-in 1-2-3-4 depth chart, I would contend that it's more of a 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B scenario. In any case, the representatives are being given out, and Shedeur's performance thus far is providing supporters good cause for excitement. The running back room is also facing some issues of its own, so even if the quarterback fight takes center stage, there are other stories coming out of camp. Quinton Judkins is the most notable person who is not reported and is still unsigned. It's just a very depressing situation. For example, the way they handled Nick Chubb and the manner that, while his friend Trayvon Henderson is a fine man, we passed him on, and Jenkins simply did what he did in Florida. Simply said, the Browns will always be the Browns. However, there are still rumors of a court date looming over the entire matter. Kevin Stefanski also didn't miss his point. He made it apparent that distractions are not what the team wants. Furthermore, it doesn't appear that Judkins will be arriving anytime soon. Ford, Strong, and Sampson will be the representatives, followed by a few more on the dev chart's rear end. And even though I know Kevin Stefanski likes the pass and occasionally falls in love with it, it's a position to keep a careful eye on as camp progresses for a club that often relies heavily on the run. Returning to Shedeur, he was also performing well in other drills. His throw placement has perhaps been the finest of the group thus far. It's not about displaying arm strength or tossing the hardest ball. It involves controlling the game, striking opponents in stride, and placing the ball where it has to be. So far, that has been his strategy. And it makes a difference even if he's playing against defenses from the second team. These serve as the foundation for a future starter. It wouldn't be shocking to see him take over, even though he might not get the position immediately, a year later, or even throughout the season, when his name will undoubtedly be chanted by supporters. Additionally, as I mentioned, you may immediately notice progress in terms of passing the ball and practicing fundamental quarterback mechanics. Shores began to seem more put together every day and cleaned up several of his little habits. That indicates to me that he has been confined behind the scenes. In any case, let's discuss tight ends today. There was no David Nuku at practice. He was excused for personal reasons, but his absence made room for Harold Fannin Jr., a rookie I am really enthusiastic about, to make an impression, which he did. Fannin, who was selected in the 3rd round, has been demonstrating good chemistry with the quarterbacks, particularly Dillon Gabriel, during drills. He's also not by himself. Sal Canila, Brennan Bates, and Blake Weinhardt are also doing a great job. If this depth chart is put to the test during the season, Canelo, a former Auburn Tiger who played in the XFL, is a name to keep an eye on. Fannin may be more than just a backup at the start of the season, though, if he continues to spark like this. Jordan Hicks was another significant omission on defense. For private reasons, he was also granted an exemption. Although having veterans leave early is not ideal, the Browns have depth in that area. Carson Swissinger and Devin Bush have stepped forward to fill the position. Even though his career has been up and down, his athleticism is undeniable. Not to be overlooked is Jerome Baker. He will be attempting to establish a significant position for himself. Additionally, he adds versatility to this linebacker room. The Browns are at least prepared to deal with a few absences without going into overdrive. So yes, it's next man up for the time being. After practice today, we had the opportunity to hear some of the main players tell the media about their experiences. Thus, these were a few of the highlights.
Positive. I think guys are looking forward to get on the field, prove themselves, and just getting better each and every day.
How do you enter? It's year 9, so how do you enter the camp with expectations for yourself and this team?
Expectations are higher than ever. Expect to bounce back from last year, myself and defensively and as a team. So the standard doesn't change, or at least it doesn't lower. It just raises and improves. I think we have guys who are older, understand, both sides of the coin. Come from a really good season, come from a really bad season. It can happen just like that. So you've got to take that into account every single day when you're training and getting to know your guys. The margins for this game are very thin.
His other previous training camps you've had with him, do you feel anything like that right now?
No, definitely. Just like you said, we ramping up. There's no ramp up. We getting straight to it, ready to get to work, and it's gonna start fast. So it's not really a ramp up, and I like it. It's all about the work and working hard and pushing it to the limit, to the max, and shoot, that's what we're here to do.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point. I know there wasn't a ton of Shedeur Sanders footage, and I know that's what a lot of you guys are interested in. So I'm probably going to make a second video at some point kind of breaking down his day solely so that for you Shedeur fans, you can just have a video all about him, because I know he's going to be in the spotlight over the next few months. It's going to be insane. I don't even know how he handles all the pressure and just all the media attention. It's crazy. But he's been composed and he's been great so far. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out. But yeah, thank you all for your continued support. Let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all